Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's unseen video. This is the big story. We did do a separate video on it, so we won't spend too long here. I just got a few extra bits to add. I think the big takeaway for me is we don't know what this is, right? It's come out of nowhere, but as a result, it could literally be anything. He might have a day free where he can pop the rate in. It could be that they've reached out to him because the ratings have been struggling a little bit recently, and they know that a Rock appearance is going to obviously turn that around, even if it's just momentarily, could give them the momentum that they need as we get closer to Elimination Chamber. It might be that they've got like a big announcement and they just reached out to see if he would be able to be the person to make that announcement. Perhaps we're going to announce where WrestleMania 42 is going to be coming from, right? Or something else equally as big. It could, of course, be that he's coming here to get involved with Jacob and Solo. You know, from a timing point of view, it's very interesting that that started to break down last week. And now the following week, here's The Rock. So from a timing point of view, it could be something there. Of course, what we all want is we want this to be the start of him Roman or him Cody. But honestly, until this dropped, there was no rumors, no reports. There was absolutely nothing out there. Just fan theory, hope, you know, that we might actually go in this direction. So it's one of those where we just don't know, right? So bold and disruptive, unpredictable and dangerous. Final boss returns, and Smackdown just got a lot bigger, right? This was the press release. So Triple H says strap in. When the final boss shows up at this time of year, the audience knows absolutely anything is possible. Everything could change in an instant. So again, cryptic, not sure. Absolutely anything is possible, which means everything is on the table right now. So no one knows. I mean, all there is just shock out there. Jang Tae Sang, shout out to you. This is what Sean's got to say about it. So is there actually a chance he might wrestle? Or is this just a panic move because of last week's ratings? Sean said, I do not have a single clue at this point. In October, Creative made plans on the assumption he wasn't wrestling, but also knowing that he very well could if he wanted to. This is speculation, but I would imagine they prepared for all scenarios this year. And of course, that was true. Then we get to January, and then he very much seemed to be making up with Cody, making up with Roman. He very much seemed to be taking that step back. Then, of course, there was rumors coming through that it's going to be Cody against Cena. And really, since that point, that has been the rumored main event. The other WrestleMania main event has been rumored as Punk versus Roman versus Seth. Rock's just not featured. So, you know, we all want it. I think there's a real lack of big heels in that main event scene. I think we need at least one up there, some big monster heel. I'd love to do Cody Rock. I mean, that would really just turn this WrestleMania season around. So I'm right in that boat with you, hoping that it's going to go that way. But equally, I know that there could be a lot of other stuff that this turns out to be. Zilla doing what Zilla should do. So Jason, thank you, saying the final piece. Don't know quite what he means off that, but considering he dropped it an hour ago, he's certainly trying to capitalize on the buzz that's around, and that's exactly what he should do. I don't think this means he's coming in. I think he's just doing what he should be doing, right? But this is interesting. So Danny said this was posted on Instagram yesterday. There's been a thing or two in my life that's been in that one-day camp, but I woke up this morning and I said, F that. Today is day one, and I am on a mission to get this particular thing done, and I'm gonna get it done. So he's very determined to achieve something, but you know what I'm gonna say? It could be anything. It could be a movie role, it could be a project at home, it could be something personal, it could be something in wrestling, it could be something to do with his vodka, with his grooming products. I mean, he's just got so many plates that are spinning. It's so hard to know what he's referring to there, but all eyes on Smackdown. Right, let's go to some other news. So, per Fightful, there is reportedly frustration amongst WWE's women's roster over the booking of the division. Talents want to be on a more even plane, so you can understand the frustrations. It's a vicious cycle. They don't get the TV time, and I don't even think they get the investment. I was talking on the member stream about where are the women that are being presented equal to like a Jey Uso, you know, with a hand gesture and a catchphrase and the merch. And where were those women? Like, we're not investing in the women in that way. And a lot of them are struggling to just get on TV at all. You know, your champs can get on TV. Rhea Ripley has got it goods. But a lot of the other women really do struggle. But that's a vicious cycle, isn't it? They're not going to get over unless you give them TV time. But equally, I can understand that WWE don't really want to pull back from the guys, because I think the guys are delivering some numbers through merch and ratings and whatnot. So, I don't know. I'm a big fan of the women getting their own brand, to be honest with you. I'd still keep them on the shows. I wouldn't take them all off of Raw and Smackdown. But I do think that a lot of those women that are struggling to get onto Raw and Smackdown, like, maybe there could be a place for them to actually shine where they don't have to keep trying to fight for TV time. Maybe there could be another brand, which I would be totally down for, but that's just pie in the sky wishful thinking stuff, to be honest. Yeah, I suppose Triple H has just got to do the best job he can do, really. A bit more confident, though, now that we've got the Intercontinental and the United States women's titles. That should help, but it hasn't quite shown itself that way at the moment, you know. Okay, Sean Ross Sapp said that they'd learnt something pretty bonkers. So one of Vince's ideas for the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble was to have Ronda Rousey come back and eliminate the whole field, which a lot of people were like, well, thank God he's not around anymore. That would have gone down like an absolute lead balloon. An absolute lead balloon. I mean, it's one thing for her to have done that, but why didn't they kind of put her in a faction, make her a bit of a kind of leader, you know, of some sort of group? Like, you could have had that group kind of doing a lot of the kind of grunt work, and then, you know, if people get past them, then they could have got to Ronda, and Ronda could have been that sort of final boss in the women's division a few years ago. You know, that would have excited me more than this idea. So just something that was doing the rounds today. Yeah, this maybe hasn't aged that well. I'm not sure, right? So per Deadline, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is set to play the lead role in Martin Scorsese's new movie as a ruthless Hawaiian crime boss. Elite Rocker said he's not returning to WWE anytime soon. It's over. That was 9 hours ago. Fast forward 8 hours, and of course news breaks through that he's literally going to be on the show tomorrow. But as we said, you know, that could just be a one-off appearance. I don't actually know when this starts filming. Could be after WrestleMania, of course. So, but again, that was this is the kind of news that's been out there about The Rock. This is the kind of stuff that we've been seeing. So really, what dropped an hour ago really has kind of shook things up. So, J Beans, thank you. Just a little bit of clarity. This was one of the big stories today. So, what happened with Tony Khan and Shane McMahon? So, sources near Shane spoke to Fightful. They couldn't confirm that Shane wanted equity in AEW, but they did admit that Shane was hoping to run a lot of things without having much product knowledge of the company. So, I believe this came from Coach. He was talking on his show about the fact he had heard that this meeting between Tony and Shane was Shane wanting to get a piece of AEW, and he wanted to basically run it as well. And he didn't have much knowledge of AEW, and I think Tony was like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks, or I'll get back to you, and then never did, right? But that was kind of what Shane was angling for, apparently. Didn't go that way, of course. Who knows if it would have been better if it had? I don't know. But yeah, just interesting to get a bit more insight, allegedly, as to what was discussed when these two had that famous meeting. WrestleVote saying, after speaking with sources, we've heard varying speculation about when and where the 2025 Hall of Fame ceremony will take place. Some within the company strongly dislike the recent format of the ceremony following Smackdown. We're told WWE is considering a change. This has popped up a few times, and it's got to change because I'm pretty sure Smackdown is going to be 3 hours on that kind of go-home episode. There's no way you can do that 3-hour Smackdown and then do a Hall of Fame afterwards. So it's going to have to move. But where do you move it to? Because, like, I don't know that they've got the build-in on a Thursday. And if they have, are people even, like, going to be there crowd-wise? Some people fly in on a Thursday, get to their hotel, get settled in. They might not be able to make it to a Hall of Fame thing. Friday is SmackDown. Saturday is day 1 of Mania, and it's NXT. Sunday is day 2 of Mania. You've got Raw on the Monday. Not sure where NXT is going to be on that Tuesday. But either way, people are, going home. It's an extended weekend. Where do you slot the Hall of Fame in? Unless maybe you do it earlier on the Sunday. Like, do you do it earlier on the Sunday before day 2? That would feel like a spot for me. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but they are thinking of moving it. WrestleBuzz said a little over a week away from the Chamber. Here's some of the betting odds. John Cena, firm favorite. Yeah, firm favorite. Thankfully, Logan, a real outsider. Loving that. Then Damian. Then Drew. Then it is Seth. Actually, CM Punk, not too much of an outsider, but John Cena, firm favorite. Then if we look over at the women's, Bayley is the outsider. They're saying that Roxanne has got more of a chance at plus 900. Then Alexa at plus 600. Then Liv at plus 500. Then Naomi, but Bianca minus 300. Obviously, the bigger the minus number, the more of a favorite you are. Really interesting information there from WrestleBuzz. So appreciate that, buds. On the CarCast show, so Goldberg states his last match will take place sometime this summer. So thinking SummerSlam would probably make sense. So Callum, thank you. And ratings in, a real drop-off here for NXT. A real drop-off for AEW as well, actually. So I don't know if that's connected, seeing such a big decrease for both of these shows. But I don't think there was much in the way of main roster stars on NXT. And I think that does make a big difference. Still a great show, though. NXT really was a great show. Can't comment about AEW. I didn't watch it. But that was still a really good show. It's a shame to see that drop when the quality was so good. But we know that quality doesn't always translate to ratings, of course. Star power. You could have the worst episode of NXT ever. You make The Rock appear on that episode. You're going to get great ratings because people are going to tune in to see what The Rock's there for, aren't they? So, ratings and quality don't really correlate. But those were the ratings from this week. Okay, let's have a look, see what else got. TNA, loads here. The colognes? I mean, is this not just the most bonkers thing you've seen? Like, flipping the colognes come walking out at the start of the show to confront Joe Hendry. I have no idea why this has happened. Like, it's just bonkers to me. But they show up to confront Joe Hendry at the start of the show. So, Master Taker, thank you. And to even the numbers, to come to Joe Hendry's aid was Elijah, formerly known as Elias. And that got people quite excited. I think I saw news that he has actually signed with TNA. Don't know that the Colognes have. That might just be a little, couple of appearances. But I believe that Elijah actually has signed, right? Oro Mensah, I don't know if this was the dart match, the kind of pre-show match, but Oro Mensah was there as well. As well as that, we had the Rascalz picking up a win. So it was Rascalz against Tyson and Tyriek. Wes Lee then challenged the Rascalz and Ace Austin to a 6-man tag match at Sacrifice. So we are going to get the 6-man tag match at Sacrifice. Here's the graphic. It's live on Friday, March 14th at 8 p.m. Is that not the same time as SmackDown? Which, if it is, that seems bonkers to me, because you're making people choose between the two shows. And I know that people can watch two shows at the same time, but I think everyone would agree it's not ideal. It's not what you want to be doing. Like, ideally, I would like to do watch-alongs for both. If Sacrifice was on a Sunday, not only would we watch it, we would do a watch-along for it, but it's going to be on at the same time as SmackDown. And I really feel like that's a big mistake. I really don't know why they've not moved this. If they knew it was going to have such a large NXT presence, why would you go up against SmackDown? Unless I'm just missing something here and SmackDown is maybe not going to be at that time. Maybe, are they in Europe? Could it be that SmackDown's at a different time that week? I don't know. What I do know is that if they're not at the same time, We'll do a watch along for that. I'm very interested in it because that's not the only match that's going to be featuring NXT talent, because we had this moment, right? So the crowd were chanting, "You're a racist," to Tessa Blanchard, right? Just thought I'd include that bit. But that's because afterwards we had Cora Jade actually attacking Masha Slamovich. That match has been made for Sacrifice as well. So there's another match that's been added to that. Then also, Oba Femi actually arrived. There he is, look. Oba Femi. This was all at Full Sail, right? The old NXT home. Very cool. So Oba Femi is going to team up with the Hardy Boys next week on TNA to take on, I'm guessing this is the System, to take on the System. So Oba Femi, I don't think is going to be at Sacrifice. I believe that match is next week. But of course, it could lead to Sacrifice. I'm sure more matches will be announced as we get closer to that show. So still a good chance Oba Femi could be on that card. Cora Jade taking out Masha Slamovich. If we skip forward, there she is. Boom! And as we said, would be added. So Santino and Ariana Grace announced that Cora Jade will take on Masha Slamovich for the Knockouts Championship at TNA Sacrifice. This thing's really being built up as like a TNA versus NXT type event. And that's another match, the second match that features NXT talent that's going to be added there. And as we said, this Oba Femi situation, that could result in something at Sacrifice as well. So lots going on with NXT and TNA tonight, which is really fun to see. I love it. I think it's great. Right, let's have a look here, shall we? Let's take the sound down. So this is the entrance for the Wyatt Sicks in 2K25. You can see the reflections here as we look up. There they are, making the entrance. This is one that really did the rounds today. People so excited about actually getting more of a glimpse of the Wyatt Sicks. There's Howdy, the rocking chair, the lantern. Masks look great. All the characters look great. There they are, making their way down. You can see all the fireflies. That's on the screen behind, but there are fireflies. And making their way down. Just looks brilliant. Look, and there, look, sat. I thought that was my favourite bit. When Nikki kind of sat at the feet of Howdy, all the masks get taken off. And there we go, and they all run off. Really good. Really good. Right, this is Natalya showing off her closet. So look at that. Is that not just absolutely stunning? Amazing. I mean, I would absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. And her closet is in the background as well. So there we go. Natalya showing off her closet. Right, here, me just wanting someone to touch my face so cute like this. Do you remember we spoke about this yesterday? Here's Roxanne. Roxanne's like, well, technically, I did. And I thought it was cute, so... Wrestle Night was like, damn. I didn't include this because it went for 3 minutes 40, quite long. And it was basically Kofi going off on the fans, going off on Ray, saying he'd been there longer, saying like, you know, Ray went away for a pretty long period of time, but he's always been there and all this kind of stuff. I thought this was a really good response by Whackin' Wild because we never hear from him. And I think he needs to do stuff like this. And I thought the way he signed it off was really good. He basically says to Kofi, if you've got a problem with Ray, you've got a problem with the LWO. But I don't know, anything that's going to allow him to show a bit of personality, because he doesn't get to do that on the show. And we don't even get to see him every single week. So I thought this was good.
Man, you want to talk about facts, Kofi? Here's a fact for you. When you mess with Rey Mysterio, you mess with the entire LWO. And we gave y'all a taste of that on Monday, but that was just a warm-up. We're just getting started. This is far from over between us. And hey, why don't you do yourself a favor? Grow your mustache back. And while you're at it, grow a set of balls too.
Hey, he can talk. Like, that was all right. I would like to see him in there cutting some promo. I feel like we can get more out of him than what we're doing, you know. We just never see them, and when we do, just kind of throwaway henchman type job, like bumping around type situation. But I don't know, I looked at that, I was like, yeah, more of that. Let's get some personality coming through. I thought that was good. Honestly, I'm almost lost for words. I really love this figure line. You can get them in the UK, actually. Wrestling shops sell them. But in America, they're Walmart exclusives. They've been doing them since about 2022. And they're all old school packaging. And the figures come with like cloth goods. I'm not sure what the item is here. Probably entrance attire, of course. But this is the Great Muta that's going to come into this line. And there's a chase version as well. Now, I don't know that these have actually been shown yet. I don't know the other figures that are going to be in this series. But I love this. The Great Muta getting a figure in this line. They've actually just released Jake the Snake Roberts, Eddie Guerrero. There was another one as well that just came out. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in this line. And if you've been to Walmart and looked at the wrestling figure section, I'm sure you've seen these figures. But they all come with like cloth items, like fabric clothing. They've done like Big Boss Man and Doink and Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. I think it's a brilliant figure line. I really hope they keep going with it. I think certainly now that they've just managed to get Demolition signed. I mean, Demolition in this line would be brilliant. So maybe this one is more for me as a bit of a figure geek. I've really loved this line that they've got because it's all legends as well. It's all like, you know, blasts from the past, from the 90s, kind of 80s, 90s. Love it. So I was so excited to see that today. A bit of news about new Superstars figures. Let's go other then, shall we? Yeah, Charlie, thank you. Sonya Deville was in the middle of contract negotiations when she had her release. She said, I thought the phone call was going to be that we'd found middle ground. I was shocked. So that came as a real surprise to her. Looks like, and I can't make this out, I can't work this out, it looks like WWE 2K might have been hacked on Facebook momentarily, because they put out this official limited edition cryptocurrency, celebrate the legacy of professional wrestling with our unique digital asset. And then there's like a link, but it was deleted seemingly. I went to have a look, it's not there now. So this was actually deleted, taken off their account. And I don't know. I really struggle to see WWE 2K launching a cryptocurrency to do with WWE. I mean, it's not an in-game thing or anything. So, like, why would WWE official limited edition crypto, why would that come through that account and not through the official WWE account? Plus also cryptocurrency. We've seen what's happened with the Hook to a Girl, right? It's so risky. I just don't know that WWE would want to be associated with that. So, but it's not there now. I can't find this. So I can't figure out what this is, where it's come from or anything like that. Blue Eyes just saw it, took a screenshot of it. And as I said, I can't find any info on it now. So I'm currently leaning towards they may have been hacked and then managed to, get their account back, but not seeing really anyone talk about this. So anyway, very confusing. I would say don't trust it, right? Then Logan's B, shout out to you. Hacksaw Jim Duggan has signed a WWE Legends deal, which is great news. I think he's had that deal quite a few times. We've had quite a few like Hacksaw figures, for example, in the past. Look at the description to these Alexa Bliss play and pain gloves. It mentions Bray, said Word of Wrestling. Yeah, I thought this was interesting. I don't really think there's loads to it in the sense of, I don't know that they know of anything that's going to happen on TV. I think this is just someone that's been told to write a description at WWE Shop. It's probably someone's job to kind of write the descriptions and upload the items. I don't know that they've particularly been told anything. But just, make the item sound attractive. Make it sound like it's something you should own, right? But the description is still interesting. So, as if Miss 5 Feet of Fury couldn't get more dangerous, she's even more deadly after becoming the Fiend Bray Wyatt's dastardly accomplice. Yep. Today, the Twisted Superstar continues to show the whole WWE universe that Wyatt's lantern will never truly be snuffed out. Yep. All good so far. I don't have any issue with any of this. Show that you hear the same voices that Bliss does by snagging these play and pain gloves. That's interesting. What voices? I don't know that I've particularly seen her kind of listening to voices or anything, or are they referring to like maybe Lily or something? I don't know. That bit's quite interesting because I don't really know what they're referencing there. I mean, certainly Alexa Bliss in the past might have shown that she could hear voices, but I don't think Alexa, since she's returned, has really demonstrated. I'm trying to think. I mean, we haven't seen much from her at all. The only thing we can really go off is that backstage little interaction she had with Nia, the one where the glitch interrupted. So that's the only thing we've really got to work off. There's not really anything other than that apart from the match. But I don't remember her demonstrating that she was hearing voices. So the hearing voices thing was really like, what? With both suggestions printed on either accessory, there's no telling which one you'll choose when things get twisted. So there we go. Yeah, hearing voices. I don't know. Is that just something more from the past? Did someone just get told to write something and they were just like, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Charlie said, tag me in this from Chris Van Vliet. Carlito said he'd like his retirement match to be hair versus something. Maybe hair versus moustache. Dominic Mysterio. That would be good. That's what Carlito would like his retirement match to be. Here, Aska says, I'm back on X, Twitter now. Sorry for any trouble and worry that this might have caused. So, looks like she has got her account back. So, Brown666, thank you. And finally, here, Logan has been banned from Egypt. He wanted to be a part of a Mr. Beast video, which was in Egypt. Found out he wasn't allowed to go. The Egyptian government won't allow him in. So, he's banned from Egypt. So, Riley, thank you. Let's go community. I think we got a couple of bits in there. So Word of Wrestling, congrats. Getting a like from Carrion Cross. I actually thought there was more in there than that. Perhaps some ended up in the thanks folder. Let's have a look here. So Isaac, appreciate it. Isaac just summing up the stuff that went down on TNA. Wild Child Billy, leader of the DK Army. Shout out to you, buds. Appreciate the retweet. WWE Ethan, thank you. It's Kaz81, appreciate it. Bradley, thank you, my friend. King Yeet Newsletter, thank you, buds. WrestleBuzz, thank you, my friend. Jeremy, appreciate it. Tony, appreciate it. Chris, appreciate it. Las Vegas Mats, appreciate it as well. Little bit of a fan. Yeah, this was interesting. So this has actually now been deleted. I don't believe this is on WWE's Twitter anymore. As soon as The Rock announced he was going to be on the show, I think this got pulled. So can I still play the video, though?
Good afternoon, everyone. It's your Smackdown general manager. We call this with an important announcement ahead of tomorrow night's Smackdown, which is coming to you live from New Orleans, Louisiana. 2 huge matchups that I am pleased to announce right now. The first one is Naomi going one-on-one with Liv Morgan. Very excited about that. And secondly, we've got a 6-man tag team match, which will pit Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, and Solo Sikoa. They'll be taking on the trio of Braun Strowman, Damian Priest, and the WWE Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, in addition to the existing matches that are already announced, which is Jimmy Uso one-on-one with Drew McIntyre, and the tag team titles are on the line. Pretty Deadly challenging DIY. We'll see you there, 8/7 Central, only on USA.
So there we go. Lots announced. If we click on this doesn't exist. Try searching for something else. So as soon as they announced The Rock was going to be on the show, this got pulled. Wow! I actually had this saved in the WWE folder for us to look at. But because it's been deleted, this is the only version of it that exists now, because for some reason, if you quote tweet it, it can still live on. So, little bit of a fan. Very good. That turned into truly unseen, right? Christopher, thank you. Wrestling's biggest fan, thank you. Riley, thank you. Sweet Jim Wrestling, thank you. Johnny, appreciate it. Colton, thank you. Milo, thank you. Word of Wrestling, shout out to you. Chris, appreciate it. Shaq Diesel, thank you. Claire, thank you. Kelly the Wise Lady, thank you. Patrick, appreciate it, my friend. And Babs the Barbarian, there we go. That was unseen. So thanks for all the support. I'm sure we'll be starting earlier tomorrow now because of that massive bombshell that The Rock is going to be on the show. Going to keep the eyes peeled for any updates and any rumors, of course. But we'll be here for SmackDown, and we'll be here for another episode of Unseen afterwards. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.